Exodus chapter 22, verse 16. We're going to get to some interesting stuff now. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. Notes: if this law was followed now, this sin would greatly be decreased. In other words, it's unmarital sex, which clearly is forbidden. Verse 17. If her father utterly refused to give her unto him, he, who is the one who committed the sin, shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. Verse 18. You shall not suffer a witch to live. Notes: this applied to Israel only and is not incumbent on modern believers. However, it must be readily understood that God is unalterably opposed to all types of witchcraft. Verse 19. Verse 19, we're going to get a little vile here. Whosoever lies with a beast shall surely be put to death. Notes. This is talking about engaging in sex with an animal. This sin is grossly unnatural in that it insults God as it regards His role as Creator. Any such act pulls one down to the level of an animal, and thereby I'm sorry, but it's very, very insulting for reasons that should be overwhelmingly obvious. I mean, come on. Verse 20. He who sacrifices unto any god, save unto the Lord only, he shall utterly be destroyed. Notes: Pulpit says, sacrifice was the chief act of worship, and to sacrifice to a false god was to renounce the true God. Under a theocracy, which Israel was, this was rebellion and rightly punished with death. In states which were not a theocracy, which were truly God-ruled, and none were with the exception of Israel, such would not be a civil offense and would be left to the final judgment of the Almighty. Verse 21. You shall neither vex a stranger. Notes: this seems to be referring to Gentiles, so let me go ahead and just read it like that. You shall neither vex a Gentile nor oppress him, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. You shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If you afflict them in any wise, and they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry. And my wrath will wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless. Notes: as you can see, God takes picking on the little ones very, very seriously. The Gentile, like I said, referred to a stranger, was placed with the widow and the orphan and made the special object of God's care. In fact, it was on account of the neglect of this precept that the capture of Jerusalem by Nebuchadnezzar, as a historical fact, by the way, and the destruction of its inhabitants was actually allowed to take place. That's in Jeremiah chapter 22, verse 3 through 5. I am currently studying that particular book, and I'm going to get better at it. Verse 25. If you lend money to any of my people that is poor by you, you shall not be to him as an usurer, or usurer, if you want to pronounce it that way. Neither shall you lay upon him usury. Notes: in the lending of money, Jews were not to charge other Jews interest on that money. On the other hand, it was distinctly declared that interest might be taken from strangers. You can find that in Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 20. Verse 26. If you at all take your neighbor's raiment or pledge, you shall deliver it unto him by that the sun goes down. Notes: the word pledge, properly translated, would actually result in the word of collateral. Verse 27. For that is his covering only, it is his raiment for his skin. Wherein shall he sleep? And it shall come to pass, when he cries unto me, that I will hear, for I am gracious. You shall not revel the gods, nor curse the ruler of your people. Notes, very, very poor translation right here. The word gods should have actually been translated to judges or magistrates. And it's also stating that their office must be respected. Basically, I think where this error came from was the judges being appointed and they were being told to enforce God's law, so they somehow messed it up and put the word gods there for judges. It's a horrible mistake by the translators. Verse 29. You shall not delay to offer the first of your ripe fruits and of your liquors. The firstborn of your sons shall you give unto me. Notes, obviously, big time notes. The word liquors should have been translated to the word tithes. And to give unto me, this is talking about this is dedication to the Lord. Verse 30. Likewise shall you do with your oxen and with your sheep. 7 days it shall be with his dam. On the 8th day you shall give it to me. Notes, the word dam, as in D-A-M, should have been translated the mother. Now, due to the fall, birth was viewed as an unclean process, which it was and is, and therefore nothing was fit for presentation to God except after a particular interval, and here you can see it is 7 days. Verse 31. And you shall be holy men unto me. Neither shall you eat any flesh that is torn of beast in the field. You shall cast it to the dogs. Notes, to be set apart exclusively to God basically means to be holy unto Him. And for these animals here we're talking about, it was because the blood of such an animal would not be properly drained from it. Some would remain in the tissues, and thence the animal would actually be unclean. And quite frankly, it could be quite dangerous to consume something like that, if you know what I mean. We'll pick up in Exodus chapter 23. Thank you very much.